So, this is the first supposed leak. First supposed leak of the day. This one is called Infinity. So, World of Warcraft Infinity, level cap is 65. Not too sure how I feel about that. 65 is a level cap, only 5 levels. I mean, I don't think that's ever worked out well in the past. Infinite Dragonflights have created new timelines looking for powerful champions to corrupt. Alliance and Horde. I'm not against Infinite Dragonflight ideas. I have long been... I like time travel stories and stuff, like the Star Trek time travel stuff. I like that sort of... I like that. So, I don't necessarily... I'm not 100% against this straight away. No new classes, but there are significant class changes for the talent system that mimic new specs. No new archaeology again. Inscription has been removed in favour of a new glyph system. So, remember when we used to have glyphs? And now suddenly we're also getting glyphs in this leak? You know, they've removed glyphs and now they're going to bring glyphs back in. Yeah. So the Plaguelands aid Sally Whitemane and her Worgen-based Scarlet Crusade against Illidan's undead army. Pandaren, Volpera and Tauren also help as they are now immune to undeath due to the Infinite Dragonflight's manipulation. Umbra Summit. Void has tainted the World Trees and the Elves are the enemies. Mount Hyjal is the change zone. Kazan. Gallywix has escaped to this timeline and gained the power of the Titans. His pleasure palace is a floating island like Dalaran. Fellcrown. Help the Alliance and Horde army against Sylvanas' demon army. And a story-based zone is planned for alternate Draenor and Yrel, taking place on Farallon. These are all batshit insane, but because that they've got all these various different timelines, it enables them to be a little bit different. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. It is complete batshit, but if you're going to do Infinite Dragonflight, if you're going to do different timelines, let's really do infinite timelines, and this is the way to do it. Fellcrown, Plaguelands with a Worgen-based Scarlet Crusade against Illidan's undead army. Yeah, doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it doesn't have to if it's a different timeline. Fellcrown Citadel is the first raid. Arthas is the second to final boss, then Sylvanas. Yeah, okay. Only 6 dungeons at the start, but half have branching paths. So what? So we have, like, 12 dungeons? Branching paths. That seems very, very strange. A Torghast replacement appears with old mobs and bosses from Classic. I wouldn't be against that. I like the idea. I think Torghast definitely is held a lot of promise. It's not as bad as people make it out to be, but I've enjoyed it. Rathian dies. There's your big spoiler. Rathian dies. Now, World of Warcraft Infinity, I don't think it's real. I like the idea of new timelines and various different things. A lot of people say that it's lazy writing. I personally enjoy them. Whether or not they'll do them, because we obviously have there's a lot of feedback that WoD wasn't fun because it was a different timeline. Again, I enjoyed it. I'm just a sucker for timeline stories, but yeah, World of Warcraft Infinity, this one ain't it. We do have a couple more, though. We've got the Cosmic Forces. This one's a 4chan leak. This one is a 4chan leak, so you know this one is legit. If it's on 4chan, it's legit. Like, we know that to be real. 4chan always has the most legit leaks. So this one here is called the Cosmic Forces. Level cap is 70. We have 5 new zones. Sherath, Kjarlengard, Favaneska, Bashalanur, and Levenus. Okay, those are the 5 new zones. Cosmic Path System. Cosmic Powers, because, you know, borrowed power isn't enough. We're now going to get Cosmic Powers. New Artifact Weapons. And Class Cosmetics. Because, yeah, borrowed power wasn't tiresome enough in Shadowlands and BFA. Let's just add a bunch of them on top cosmically. So the Jailer has been defeated, but he left a rift in Zereth Mortis, which allows the other 5 cosmic forces to invade the other realms. All the Zereths are connected. At first, the other realms invade Zereth Mortis with the intention of conquering the Realm of Death. This is the pre-expansion event. Okay, so we're not going back to Azeroth, we're staying in the Shadowlands. We defend the Shadowlands and fight their forces back. We then enter the realms to deal with the situation. Zereth Mortis is our jumping off point into these other realms. Zereth Ordos, Umbra, etc. are the points of arrival, which allow the champions to go deeper into the domains of these cosmic forces. So again, we're basically Shadowlands 2.0 here. And Shadowlands has been so well received, and the fact that we're going Shadowlands 2.0, yeah, I honestly cannot see this happening. The hero splitter, the player then infiltrates the other cosmic forces. All cosmic forces have the natural impetus to conquer the other cosmic forces. It's the goal of our heroes to keep the balance between them, to fix the rift in Zereth Mortis and get the cosmic forces to agree to a truce. We're gonna force cosmic forces to agree to a truce? Are you kidding me? We couldn't even... it took us this long to agree for the Alliance and the Hordes to have a truce, and now suddenly we're getting the cosmic forces to agree to a truce? The heroes split up across the cosmic forces. The player joins one of the cosmic paths. Some typically line up with certain classes like paladins and priests in the forces of the light, but every player can choose independently of class. Okay, so we're getting covenants again. So we are just this is just Shadowlands, but with the names changed. That's literally all it is. It's literally all it is. It's just Shadowlands with the names changed. Cosmic paths are essentially like covenants, but no combat abilities, only cosmetic abilities. For example, players who pick the forces of light can make themselves glow with the light. Followers of the path of life can make flowers grow, etc. Every cosmic force has a talent tree, similar to Soulbinds, with a lot of useful stuff like increased mount speed, restricted to outdoor content, new mounts, new transmogs, new pets, etc. Okay, so no combat abilities, but I can have stuff like increased mount speed. Really? Yeah, no. Each cosmic realm is huge and we only see a small part of it. We're going to see no part of it because this is a complete fabrication. They would not take something like Shadowlands and just redo it with a different name. That's absolutely not how this would work out. I'm disappointed in 4chan. Normally they're so good with their leaks. And now we have our final one. This one just says 10.0. And it says the logo is real, although taken from a screenshot. I'm assuming it means the Empire of Dragons, the one that we've all seen. The main enemy is the Twilight Dragonflight, who are attempting to create the ultimate Dragonflight by conquering all others. The dead Old Gods and Void Lords are in the background, although not featured directly. Okay, so we do have Old Gods and Void Lords, but again, not featured directly. Other dragon-based enemies from past expansions, like the Infinite Dragonflight, will be seeded in the main story and pop up in patches, as the X-Pack is very much Dragon's greatest hits. I mean, dragons, we haven't had dragons for quite a while, so I think going back to dragons is not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, and it gives them a lot to do. They can create a lot of stories from them, especially with, you know, the aspects that have lost their power. Maybe they're looking to regain their power. Rathian is in opposition to the Twilights and is attempting to have the Black Dragonflight. The Dragonflight. My favourite aspect, the Dragonflight and Wefting. They're my favourites. Attempting to have the Black Dragonflight regain its ancient role and heal Azeroth. This will be resolved at the end of the X-Pack. Okay, so Rathian trying to help out the Black Dragonflight, trying to help them regain their previous position is kind of what we expect from a lot of these. It's the way that it has gone with a lot of the dragon leaks, where Rathian is trying to get the Black Dragonflight back into a proper setup in the world. Set in the Dragon Isles, which contains some old dragonflights that predate the dominance of the 5 others. Some old dragonflights that predate the dominance of the 5 others. One of the aspects literally tells you where the dragonflights come from. There wouldn't have been any more dragonflights before that. Even Blizzard aren't going to retcon something this hard. I hope. Very much a high fantasy setting with lots of colour and different ecosystems, but grounded in core Azeroth fantasy. We'll revisit and expand on a lot of early Azeroth and Dragon lore. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I love the idea of revisiting a little bit of early Azeroth, maybe some Dragon lore again. Infinite Dragonflight, a perfect vehicle for doing something like that, and gives us the opportunity to do stuff that we wouldn't normally do, make things a little bit more light-hearted after Shadowlands. The other Dragonflights are along for the ride and will regain their sense of purpose and unite with the old Dragonflights along with Rathian. Ysera will pop up. Not to be surprised, we've seen Ysera in the Shadowlands a lot. No world revamp and no new classes or races. However, all classes will become available to all races, with a big focus on cosmetics and reinforcing class slash race fantasy in other ways. Tauren Demon Hunter. Tauren Demon Hunter. Let's go. Double horns. That's all I'm saying. Some old areas like the Wetlands and Dragonflight will be visited and visually updated in patches. Okay, I quite like that. BFA will remain the main leveling expansion and Shadowlands will be moved to Chromie time, but there are plans to expand on the new player-friendly approach taken with Exile's Reach. Again, not a problem. And I like the idea of Shadowlands being moved to Chromie time. I kind of like the idea of that, but then the problem is that the storyline of BFA kind of just ends. And I don't know whether Shadowlands will fill that role properly. I don't know whether Shadowlands would have filled the role of the leveling expansion, but then BFA just kind of ends. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel as though it should just be all moved to Chromie time and then you get a decision on what you want to do. Big revamp of professions and focus on new cosmetic or lore-based time sync systems not tied to player power. I have no problem with that whatsoever. The idea of having systems in there that are not tied to player power but simply give you an option to do something. If you want cosmetics, titles, mounts, transmogs, pets, everything, I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. And professions, I've been saying that the next expansion, professions need a heavy revamp, and that needs to almost be our quote-unquote player power. That kind of needs to be it. I don't know much about how player power will be handled, but it's meant to be a back-to-basics X-Pack with simpler but robust progression systems. You will want to play because the core grind and gameplay loop is good. Okay, so far this is probably one of the better quote-unquote leaks that I've seen. It doesn't give us too much information. It's very basic about the story, high fantasy setting, Dragon Isles, Dragonflight. It has the information that we kind of would expect from something like this. It doesn't give us everything in one go. If I was to Proto Dragonflight, I mean, yeah, apart from the Proto Dragonflight, the Proto Dragonflight is a little bit strange. I think that that's the one thing that I think kind of strikes me as it being very, very strange. But who knows? Blizzard have done stuff like this before where it's gone, oh, they predated certain things. So in regards to a leak, I don't think it's terrible. There is a world where some of this could definitely be true. But is the whole thing true? I don't think so. But hopefully we'll find out soon exactly what 10.0 is going to be, because with all these leaks, we're going to be drowning soon in leaks.